circulatory system is composed of the heart and the blood vasculature, the arteries and the veins. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood back to the heart. Circulating blood supplies cells throughout the body with oxygen and removes waste carbon dioxide. Oxygen is absorbed into the bloodstream through tiny air sacs in the lungs called alveoli. As oxygen diffuses in, carbon dioxide moves out and is exhaled.
The largest component of blood is plasma, a yellowish liquid that is 90% water. Plasma carries suspended blood cells and other substances. Nutrients that pass from the digestive system into the body are transported in the blood plasma. These nutrients include glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids. In the plasma of the blood that enters the kidneys are waste products from body tissue. The kidneys process blood by filtering waste products such as urea, uric acid, and creatinine out of the blood plasma and into the urinary system. Plasma also transports electrolytes, components of the immune system, enzymes, and hormones, and it maintains homeostasis by releasing heat. Red blood cells, also called erythrocytes, make up 40 to 45% of blood volume and function to transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. Red blood cells are produced inside the bones of the skeletal system, particularly in the vertebrae, sternum, ribs, and pectoral and pelvic girdles. Inside the red bone marrow of spongy bone, stem cells known as hemocytoblasts give rise to the different types of blood cells, including red blood cells. During the development process, the hemocytoblast ejects its nucleus, allowing the cell to carry more oxygen to the tissues. Mature red blood cells enter the bloodstream via enlarged capillaries known as sinusoids. The bloodstream delivers oxygen to cells and removes carbon dioxide waste through a process called internal respiration. In the lungs, oxygen is absorbed into the erythrocytes in the bloodstream. These cells, commonly called red blood cells, contain gas-transporting molecules called hemoglobin. Oxygen binds to these molecules. The oxygenated blood then moves through the vasculature. At the narrow capillaries within body tissues, red blood cells release oxygen, which then diffuses through the capillary wall into tissues. Meanwhile, the waste product carbon dioxide diffuses into the bloodstream, where it is carried inside red blood cells and in plasma. The deoxygenated blood travels through the vasculature and back to the lungs, where carbon dioxide is expelled from the body. Cell fragments called platelets or thrombocytes make up about 2% of blood. Platelets stop blood loss from damaged vessels. When a blood vessel tears, platelets at the site adhere to the wall of the vessel to close the tear. The shape of the platelets changes as they liberate the contents of their vesicles. This enables them to connect to one another. Platelets also release chemicals that activate the coagulation system to promote blood clotting. Blood proteins known as clotting factors form fibrin threads. Millions of platelets together with the fibrin threads form a platelet plug. If the tear is small enough, the plug can stop blood loss completely.
Organ that functions as a double pump to control blood flow. The heart of an adult male is slightly larger than that of an adult female. On average, a normal adult heart is about the size of a fist and weighs approximately 300 grams, less than 1 pound. The exterior of the heart has a conical shape. The interior of the heart is divided into 4 hollow chambers, enclosed by a layered wall. The heart has a right and a left side, each side with 2 chambers, an atrium and a ventricle. The right and left sides of the heart work in coordination to pump oxygenated blood throughout the body and deoxygenated blood to the lungs. The heart of a healthy adult beats about 60 to 70 times a minute to keep blood constantly moving. Within the thoracic cavity, there is a thin sac known as the pericardium that encloses and protects the heart. The heart wall is composed of several layers. The 3 layers of the heart wall are the epicardium, the myocardium, and the endocardium. The outermost layer, or the epicardium, is also known as the visceral pericardium, or the innermost layer of the pericardium. It covers the heart, wraps around the roots of the great blood vessels, and adheres the heart wall to its protective sac. The middle layer is called the myocardium. The myocardium is responsible for the heart's pumping action. Its strong muscle tissue makes powerful, continuous contractions possible. This thick layer performs the bulk of the heart's work. The endocardium is the inner layer of the heart wall, lining the heart's interior structures, the chambers, valves, and papillary muscles. The endocardium is continuous with the lining of the blood vessels that attach to the heart. Together, these three layers of the heart wall aid contraction and relaxation as the heart pumps. Blood pressure is used as a measure of normal cardiovascular function. The point of highest pressure when the ventricles are contracting and the pressure is highest in the arteries is called systolic pressure. The point of lowest pressure when the ventricles are relaxed and the semilunar valves are closed is called diastolic pressure. Blood pressure is commonly recorded by measuring both systolic and diastolic pressures. The average systolic pressure is 120 millimeters of mercury. The average diastolic pressure is 70 to 80 millimeters of mercury. The four heart valves control the flow of blood through the heart by opening and closing the heart chambers in a coordinated sequence. The two valves located between the atria and the ventricles are called the tricuspid and mitral valves. These valves facilitate the flow of blood as it moves into the ventricles from the atria. The other two valves are the aortic and pulmonary semilunar valves. These valves prevent the backflow of blood into the segment it just exited. Each of the four valves is composed of flaps called leaflets or cusps, which prevent backflow of blood in the wrong direction. An electrocardiogram, or EKG, is a test that measures the waves of electrical activity of the heart as it beats. It may be used to find an underlying disorder, such as arrhythmia, or to investigate possible damage to the heart. Electrodes placed on the arms, legs, and chest register electrical signals produced by the heart, generating a pattern of waves that show depolarization and repolarization of heart muscle. This pattern is then compared to normal records and analyzed to determine the nature of the problem.